Second run. How you feeling? Shaking? Yeah. So we just did our first run and we didn't put it off. Which is good. It's great to have this thing back in the build tent. Exactly this time next week, we will be at Shelsley Walsh Hill Climb for the Hagerty Run What You Brung event. If you have seen previous content on this car, you may remember last year we went to Prescott Hill Climb for Peugeot Festival. At that time, the car had literally just been put together. By that point, we didn't even have decent tyres. We still had some Continental winter tyres on there. That, coupled with my severe inexperience with driving this car, meant it certainly wasn't showing its full potential. Present day with some extra seat time and these Toyo Proxy T1R tyres, hopefully we'll have a better run. For starters, I'll swap the tyres from front to rear. I'm keen to see the difference in tyre wear between the front and the rear, especially after the last track day. That's the one with the damaged thread. We've got the front. You see, especially on the inside at the front, how it's worn the tyre on the edge compared to the rear tyre. Rear, front, see the difference? To maximise the life of your set of tyres, it's always a good idea to switch them around. However, before I do, I'm just going to assess this general area, give it all a quick health check, and I'll do the same to the front. I always check that the drive shaft nuts are staked. Staked meaning you see it's dented, the end of the nut has been bent into that cavity there. In theory, that stops the nut coming undone. I think I ought to clean the wheels. Go on then, I'll be back. I'm always wary of checking the wear on the front pads from past experience. There's bits of brake pad all over the front wheel. I've just been cleaning the wheel that was on the front. I noticed there was a bit of an oil stain on the wheel, only small. So let's have a look. I reckon we've got a slight leak on this caliper. I'll investigate that before I get the wheel back on. Everything looks dry and in order. It could leak when it's under serious brake pressure. The other thing to consider, it could have been a split boot from the CV joint and grease getting on the back of the caliper, but I've checked all that. The brake fluid level is perfect also. It's one of those I'm just going to have to monitor. And I still have the original calipers, which I'm going to service and repair, which I can use as spares. Look how clean that is. Always utilising the active aero. I can drop the near side now, then I'll do the same with the wheel swap on the offside. Unsurprisingly, this side shows the same wear characteristics, with the front wearing a lot more on the inside. I'll get these cleaned up, and then we'll get them back on the car. I'm happy that the front is all buttoned up. I've checked the bolts and for leaks. I'll just have a look at the back. Yeah, everything looks good under here. The day after I did the last track day, I had a bit of an oopsie and the engine lost about 3 litres of oil whilst it was running. At the time I did what I could to get it back and moving, and I used some cheap engine oil in order to get the car moved. Now I've had some time to do some shopping. I will get some more amber nectar back in the engine along with a fresh filter. Currently struggling to get the old oil filter removed. I may just hammer a tent peg through it. I have managed to avoid burning myself on the exhaust so far, which is good, I guess. Tactics need to be applied here. Temporarily put the sump plug back on. I'll be ready for some oil spillage. That was bad. That's the reason why I try not to do them up too tight. There's not enough room to get in there with the tool. Right, bigger hammer. This is outrageous. Wait till you see the damage I'm inflicting on this filter. That was an ordeal. I've spent so long getting the oil filter off. The exhaust is cold now. I needed this brew. After that mess, are you a daring dunker? There's a fine line between perfection and disaster. Right, enough of this. The oil filter's on, tight, sump plug's back on, car's back on the ground, we're level, yada yada yada. I ran the engine up, I've got oil pressure, I've checked the levels, it's all good. I have not forgotten to torque the wheels up, do not worry about that. The next parts have arrived. I bought these sleeves, which are specifically made to go over the top of fuel pump, as well as being used for anti-vibration. I'm thinking if I put 2 of these over the entire body of the fuel pump, it should reduce the noise quite considerably. The reason why I'm doing this and not relocating the fuel pump altogether is the fact I have very little room. There is no point in just moving it around to a different location behind the seats. And because the engine coolant is at the rear with the radiator and fan, all of this area gets really hot. I am really reluctant to mount it down here, for example, or equally on this side, which doesn't really leave us with room elsewhere. In the perfect world, I would have put a high flow pump inside the fuel tank. Then I would have had best of both worlds. Good rate of flow for the fuel, and I wouldn't notice the noise. You live and learn, hey? In order to get these little suckers on, I need to do my favorite job in the world, take this seat out, which are always a pain to line up with everything in the car, but I need to remove this to get access to the pump. Genuine fake carbon fibre. There she lies. You see the way the pump's directly mounted to this bracket, then in turn this bracket is not shocked in any way, it's direct to the chassis. If I pull the filter out, you should be able to move this. Just a bit at least. Instead of taking off the wiring, I want to remove this end. I have taken the fuel pipe off the filter instead, as it's really prized onto the fixing that goes into the fuel pump. Now I can slide the sleeve over the top of the pump, but first I need to slide this off. It's a nice snug fit. Alright, I'm gonna get some spray on it first. Now I've got both sleeves on, but I'll have to modify this to get it back over as the diameter is so much bigger now. I've got the bracket over the sleeves. After bending it apart slightly, I had to remove the rubber protector from the bracket in order to fit it on. As this fits nicely underneath the mount, I'll use this piece and lay it flat down where it bolts to the plate. That should also help reduce vibration and therefore noise as well. I have the pump and bracket securely mounted to the base now. I've put a few extra cable ties on to stop it potentially sliding off the sleeve. I'll have a good clean up in here and then we can run the car at a more sociable hour to test for noise. I'll give all this a good clean out and then I can get the seat back in. Before I test the system, I'll get this ducting back in place and I'll get the cover back on. I need to make sure I don't snag any of the wires which are down here. Let's see if it's made any difference. Ready? Oh, that's much better. Yeah, that's good. That's a world of difference. It's dampened it right down. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Who knew such a basic modification would take so much of the noise out? With the passenger seat out, it makes sense to give it all a good clean out. As I have access to the floor, at least on this side, I will whip around with the hoover. Made that look easy. Normally it takes hours of wiggling and frustration. It's important not to go too tight with these, as if you destroy the threads in the seat. It's a bit of a nightmare to sort out. Not only the wheels are getting a clean, I'm actually going to give it a wipe down. Well, a bed bath, I guess. I don't think the vinyl can handle a pressure washer. Once again, the sun is setting. I'm losing the light. I've given the windows a bit of a clean up and I've put some tyre shine on all 4 tyres just to freshen it up. I'm just putting a GoPro mount on the bonnet. I don't trust the adhesive alone. I've drilled a hole in the middle of the mount. Using a countersunk bolt, it's not going anywhere. On the off chance they don't let me use a windscreen mounted cam, I can resort to that one. I don't put it lower down because I don't have a case currently for the GoPro. So the higher it is up the car, the less likely it is to get damaged. We're ticking off the jobs. Another couple of days and we'll be at Shelsley Walsh. On the way to Shelsley. All the rally cars are going out now. You might recognise this car from YouTube. In that Peugeot, it's running Evo drivetrain. It's homologated now, so it can do stage rally.
First run, and we didn't put it off, which is good. I didn't feel much grip through the tyres though. Like you can tell they were weren't up to temperature. Really? Yeah. That's the fastest I've ever been on four wheels. Launched like hell. That was an impressive launch. Cool. What's in the video now? 37 seconds. Is it 37 seconds? 37, 38. top, that's all that matters. I think I wasted a lot of time. I'm coming off the gas too early on like the second left. The punch wasn't as good as it.
Didn't quite feel as quick, if I'm honest. No.
And
you drifted right out to the. You used the full width.
Yeah.
I honestly thought it was going to start drifting on that first sharp left.
Yeah.
But it's just so well balanced. I don't know. I'm expecting the back end going out and all sorts.
Yeah, grip's right. Second run. Felt a bit slower, to be quite honest.
Be interesting to see what the times are. Felt smoother but slower. Either way, it's getting warm. So I'll put on fully tight with the front damping. Everything looks good under here.
I don't know if it does anything. It's like placebo, I reckon. Yeah.
Coming onto the straight on that last run. If I hadn't, it probably would be my best time. We'll see what the time is. We may have just got it anyway. The fourth one felt way better. I made it up without missing a gear, so we'll see what the times are. The current setup of the car is I've gone all the way stiff and backed off 3 on the rear, and then the front is as hard as it will go. Clearly the ground has warmed up throughout the day, but the car is feeling really good. It turned out to be a brilliant day at Shelty Walsh Hill Climb. The car performed really well, no issues at all really. With 4 runs up the hill, it's gave me even more seat time in this car. I'm starting to learn the ropes a bit. I think everyone who attended the show enjoyed seeing it there. I didn't pick up the camera much as I was having so much fun walking around the event, soaking in the atmosphere and enjoying the occasional blast in this thing. That's it for this one. As always, go subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you very soon.